E-bike sales in Europe continues to show an upward trend, but at a lower pace than last year. It was the big question after the e-bike sales boom in 2020. Is the industry able to keep up demand at such an unprecedented high level? The first half of the year results of Accel Group were a clear signal. Demand for e-bikes remained strong across Europe. However, demand could not be fulfilled easily. Accel Group's overall bicycle sales declined by almost 5%. CEO Ton Anbeek blamed this to component shortages. Sales could have been 10 to 20% higher if we had the parts on time, he said at the presentation of the first half of the year results. Also, Taiwan's biggest bicycle producers, Giant and Merida, reported strong demand for their products. According to both companies, sales was impacted by supply chain disruptions and shortage of components. Increased shipping costs and container shortages were adding up to the problems with the components. Especially for Merida, this proved to be problematic. In September, their volume of bicycles shipped overseas dropped by more than 25%. They couldn't get sufficient containers, while 15,000 bikes were waiting to be shipped. Looking at some specific markets, we see a high demand for e-bikes in Germany in the first 6 months of the year. Total sales volume went up by more than 9% to 1.2 million units. According to the industry association ZIV, not only sales but also production increased compared with 2020 and 2019. The German industry is more and more focusing on e-bike production. This year, existing production capabilities were primarily used for the production of e-bikes, after inventories were fully sold in 2020. This resulted in a decrease in the availability of regular bicycles, of which sales dropped by 25% in the first half of this year. The Italian market shows a similar development. Between January and June, e-bike sales increased by 12% to 157,000 units. In the Netherlands, the market expansion we saw last year stabilized. According to industry insiders like Dynamo Retail Group and the H&L benchmark, the market growth hovers around 2.5% this year. Still, it's the e-bike that leads the market, and there is every reason to believe that this will go on for some time. European e-bike importers are rapidly anticipating on the booming e-bike market. According to official customs statistics, the number of e-bikes imported between January and August increased by 26% compared with 2020. The number 1 and 2 position in the ranking are still held by Taiwan and Vietnam, who have both seen their export to Europe increase. Taiwan was up 7% to almost 325,000 e-bikes, and Vietnam increased 15% to 150,000 units. The biggest growth was generated by China, with an increase of 180% to 150,000 units. Remarkably, Cambodia, the biggest bicycle exporter from Asia to Europe, doesn't play a role of any significance when it comes to e-bikes. Countries like Vietnam, China and Turkey are the preferred suppliers over Cambodia. The outlook for the whole year is less optimistic. In September, the German Industry Association ZIV already anticipated on a slight decrease in market volume. This was mainly attributed to the supply chain constraints, and this situation hasn't changed since then. Do you want to stay informed on how these developments will continue? In that case, you best subscribe to Bike Europe for full access to all our reports. Here you can also find the latest market statistics.